welcome again to another episode of the Long Gone Loser Rock Show. Today we're going to be talking about 45s.
Oh.
Before I get stuck into the stack of 45s that I've picked up recently, I want to tell you about this book that I bought. I found it on Amazon. It was like $50 or $40 or something like that. It was pretty cheap, but it's the Punk 45 book. I highly recommend this if you are into collecting Punk 45s, and especially if you love the art and the aesthetic and things like that of those old singles. This book, it's jam-packed. As you can see, it's really thick, and this is basically what you'll be looking at. Page after page of details of awesome 45s. There's interviews with label holders and stuff like that. So there's interviews with like Seymour Stein, and there's articles on Danger House Records and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. There's the cover there, and obviously on the back you've got a list of contributors and stuff. And yeah, if you know anything about the Punk 45 series, Soul Jazz, I think they're in the UK, they're based in the UK, they put out like these compilations that are amazing. And you will probably remember in one of my Record Store Day videos, might have been last year's Record Store Day, I picked up the Punk 45 comp that they did then, but I've also got a bunch of other ones that they've released. And basically they just collect hard to find punk singles and just put them out for us to get in one place, rather than have to spend tons and tons of money trying to track these down. Unfortunately for me, I really like 45s, and so I end up searching for all these records. I've got a lot of them. I don't have all of them. There's so many in here that I didn't even know existed. But the best thing about this book is that it actually made me want to go onto YouTube or whatever and listen to ones that people have uploaded, like their vinyl rips or whatever of these songs, so that I can actually hear them. The sad thing then is that I've gone onto my want list and I've added these releases on there. So it can be very damaging to your wallet to collect all this stuff. But if, like me, you love 45s, then this book is essential. So yeah, check it out. And no, they didn't pay me to say this. This is just me telling you about a really cool book that I think the vinyl community here on YouTube would enjoy. So there we go, Punk 45. Get this book. Weighs a lot though. So, but yeah, like I said, it was like $40 or $50 on Amazon. Really cool to see that they've got like the Victims are in here, the Australian band and stuff like that. So it does go all over the place. You've got everything from, Penetration, Randoms, Danger House, really cool shit. Like bands like the W.A.S.P. I don't know this, so I was glad to get this book because it made me go, who are the W.A.S.P? And go and check it out. So there's stuff like that. There's a lot in here. Obviously you've got heavy hitters like the Clash, but there is stuff in here that you will just not know about. Obviously more heavy hitters, both great singles. But then you hear stuff like, well, obviously you got to have the Nerves in there. That's a great single. Don't own an original. Would love to though. But then you've got stuff, like the Cyanide single. I don't know everything, and this book has been able to help me. Like the Mad. Don't know this record. Need to find this record. They put out this box set as well. This, another one there. Look at that. Pretty cool. But, most people probably want the originals. But hey, if you're willing to shell out the money on the original pressings, then by all means go for it. Knock yourself out. Don't let me stop you. But if I did see the original stuff cheap, of course I would grab it. Only if it was cheap. I'm not going to spend stupid money on records like that. They just released a Johnny and the Self Abusers reissue. So this is limited to 500 copies. There's probably still copies around. Jump online to Soul Jazz Records and grab yourself a copy there. That Punk 45 is just on the sleeve. It's not actually part of the record. I'd not owned a copy of this before, so I'm glad that I do now. Even though it's a reissue, I don't care, but the songs are so good. So if you don't know Johnny and the Self Abusers, here's a good place to start. Okay, now let's get into the stack of 45s that I've picked up. I'm going to get through these as quickly as I can because there's a lot. But this is stuff that I've bought over the last couple of months. So they just keep stacking up, and they're here in my to be listened to pile, so I can get through them. So let's get started. And when I talk about a stack, I'm talking about a stack. So let's do it. First of all, this Red Ants 5-inch record that was released on Sympathy. Very, very cool. I never bought it the first time around, but there's copies still around and they're really cheap, so I grabbed it. John Cougar Concentration Camp, great name for a band. I just love all this like 90s, melodic pop punk and whatever. So released on Second Guess Records. The Boll Weevils and the Four Squares. I do like the Boll Weevils. I basically buy anything on Doctor Strange Records, and this is released on Doctor Strange Records. So you'll see a lot of Doctor Strange releases in this pile because I'm just trying to collect labels, and Doctor Strange Records is a label that I really do enjoy the stuff of. I've never been to the store, but plan on doing that the next time I go back to America. J Church, Annalise split 7-inch. J Church Records, if I see them around, I don't have them, I just buy them. Now there's probably around 100 releases of J Church. I do not have all 100 releases, I'm far from it. But if you do have all, every release of J Church, let me know and tag me so I can see the collection, because I don't think anybody in the world actually has a full J Church discography. But if you do, that's an incredible feat, my friend. Lance, rest in peace. Voodoo Glow Skulls, this is a Doctor Strange release. I like the early stuff of the Voodoo Glow Skulls, and especially the Doctor Strange records, really, really cool. Dogpile was the other one that I've got that I really like, and the first album, Who Is This Is really good too. But yeah, here you go, Land of Misfits toys. Cool. The Mises, just a really cool band, just really like their stuff. This is released on Itchy Korean Records. So I'd not heard this single before, really looking forward to getting into that. Menson, starring Mary Curry, who is now in Mary's Kids, released on Nomad Records. There you go there. Very, very cool. This is a split of Crocodile God and Scarpa. I really like Crocodile God, and so I just really like stuff that was on Crackle Records. This split 7-inch I'd never seen before, so I'm glad I got that one. 2 records by the Ergs. This one is a split with The Measure, and I've got this one here with the Modern Machines. So the Ergs, awesome band. I think Mikey Erg is probably one of the most I guess all-rounded musicians. He seems to be in like 500 bands and just records and writes a lot of stuff. So trying to collect it all is pretty hard, but I'm trying. I've got a lot of Ergs releases. Crackle release of the band Toast. I'm trying to collect all the Crackle Records releases. I did not have Toast, but I do now, and I'm really looking forward to listening to this. I've not heard this one before. Come Dancing with Toast. Rumspringa, which if you know what that's from, you like cool movies. And obviously a band called Sleep Like a Log, which I do not know. I've never heard of them before, so I'm really looking forward to getting into this and listening to that. Cool split 7-inch. VML Music, a VML live series, Pink Lincolns. I love the Pink Lincolns, and I'm trying to collect everything on Vindictive Music Limited, so I'm pretty stoked to have this one. Crying Out Loud's split with the Motards. I really got into the Motards because they have a single on Rip-Off Records, and so I don't know this one, but I know Little Deputy Records, and I think they used to send me stuff when I was starting out my zine way back in the day. But I really like the Motards. Don't know the Crying Out Louds if I'm correct, but looking forward to listening to that. The Chubbies, this is the first of 2 singles I've picked up. This one's on Sympathy for the Record Industry. It's the I'm the King demos, so I really like them. This is called Beatnik Termites, has cover art by Rayan from the Harlons, so very, very cool. They're a great band, the Beatnik Termites, really like them. The Quadrajets, Dixie Speedway. If you've not heard their record on Estrus, or their records I should say on Estrus, check them out. They do a really good version of A Whole Lot of Rosie on the flip side to Pumpkinhead Motherfucker. They do Rockin' Daddy by Howlin' Wolf on the flip side. I'm going to get their name wrong, as I always do, but is it Lemuria? Which is a split of them doing a Pixies cover and Off With Their Heads on the other side. That's cool. I like that. You seen that before? Of course you have. It's a parody by the Nobodies. But yeah, Scar by Love is a really good song. I think pretty much every band ever has covered Scar by Love. If you know the Nobodies, if you don't, check them out. Good Ramones core stuff. Very politically incorrect. You know, they sing a lot about porn and stuff like that, but they're a really, really cool band, and Off With The Heads are great. The Feds and the Marshies split. This is again on Doctor Strange Records, so looking forward to cranking this one up. Snotboy, did not know this band, but it is on Vindictive Music Limited, so I'm looking forward to listening to this. Yeah, there you go, pretty cool. Rocket from the Crypt, Boy Chucker picture disc. I do have the normal standard 7-inch of this, but I've never seen the picture disc, so I'm glad to finally have that one. The Lillingtons, awesome band, released on Red Scare Records. This is Toby from Teenage Bottle Rockets band. So yeah, well, these ones aren't new. I've had these for ages, but I've just been listening to them lately. A couple of Francois Hardy 7-inches there. Just been listening to her stuff again. It's really nice mellow music, so if you don't know Francois Hardy, I'm sure I'm getting her name wrong, but I really like her stuff, so I've been listening to those. This is Millions of Dead Cops Before There Were Millions of Dead Cops. This is a reissue on Beer City Records. Just picked up this recently, The Stains. The Campus Tramps. This band rules. If you've never heard them before, check them out. I do believe that there's, maybe on YouTube, there's an album that has all the singles on it together. This is one of those singles. This is really, really cool. Raise Hell with Riff Randall was one of the songs, which is one of the reasons I needed it. I did not own this one, and I'm very surprised I didn't own this single, but I just picked it up recently, really cheap. Hoodoo Gurus like our Wipeout and Bring the Hoodoo Down on the Flip. Do not know why I've never owned this single. It is just such a great song, but yeah, I guess I just never seen it cheap enough around, but I did recently, so I grabbed it. The Lime Spiders, Weirdo Libido. This was the very first Lime Spiders song I ever heard. Saw the video for it on Rage, immediately got into it, and yeah, I had the 12-inch but never owned the 7-inch, so found it cheap, so I had to buy it. The Copyrights and the Dopamines, songs about fucking up. Nice parody of the Big Black album there. Two amazing Ramones core bands. Really love that stuff. That's a really good single, by the way. I've been listening to it a lot this week. The Slaters, awesome band from Sydney. They have a song called Crystal Girl, which is really, really good. This is the 4-tracker called Put Out the Trash. Really, really good stuff. The guitar player from this band went on to be in Lawn Smell, and what's the other band that he was in? Power pop band. It'll come to me. Pyramidiacs. So yeah, but the Slaters, really cool stuff. I now have all the vinyl that they released and the CD compilation of everything they did. Chubbies on Mutant Pop, awesome stuff. This one's on red vinyl. She Wanted More and Pseudochrist. Love the Chubbies. Another VML live. This one's Teen Generate. One of the greatest Japanese punk rock and roll bands. Really cool stuff. Picked up some Bored stuff recently, which is Bored. There you go. Them doing a cover of Supernaut. Awesome stuff. The Tote Singles Club #1, Bored and the Splatterheads. Really, really cool. Never seen this before, so glad to finally have it. Okay, this Bored 7-inch. Really, really awesome stuff. So this is 3 lineups of Bored doing, and it's just like a compilation of 3 Bored tracks. So just from the different eras of the band. Really, really cool. White Noise and Seminole Rats. There we go. Awesome. Warped single. I think this is the last record that Warped ever put out. I'm pretty sure it is, and I think it even was released on their farewell gig or something like that. Warped are awesome. Benny Watkins now has a new band. What are they called? Grit? Is it Grit? I think it's called Grit. GRYTT. Groovy Ghoulies. There you go. Running with Bigfoot, released on Lookout Records. I love Lookout Records label. Try to collect everything that Lookout ever does. Groovy Ghoulies. Not the hugest fan of Groovy Ghoulies. Do like him, but after a while his voice kind of grates on me, but I still like them in small doses. But yeah, really cool single, this one. Of course I had to pick this one up. Never owned an actual copy of it. I had the album of JC Cotton, but not the 7-inch. There you go, there it is. I'm so stoked to finally have a picture sleeve version of Johnny Are You Queer. This is a fantastic song, covered by, I think the Queers did it, and also Screeching Weasel do it. So yeah, there you go, really cool song. Sweatmaster, really cool song. There you go, there's the flip side. Do you know Sweatmaster? If not, they release stuff on Bad Afro Records. Really good rock and roll band from Scandinavia. Scratch Bongo Wax. I got into this band obviously because they released that song on the Punk USA comp, and I got into them from that way. So there you go, finally found this. Surf and Turd, I love it. So really, really cool EP. Tater Tots. Here you go. This is the side project of Pat Fear and also the guys from Red Cross and a bunch of other people. This one's got Cherie Curry on it. Really cool stuff. It's like very unique and bizarre takes on covers of the Beatles and, you know, obviously Queen and stuff like that. The Smugglers, awesome band. I got to see the Smugglers live on the Lookouting show in 2017. Incredible band, really good band. So glad I got to see them. This is the 7-inch that I did not have. These guys have got so much stuff out, and trying to collect them all is pretty hard, but I'm going to attempt to do it just because I really like them. And the last thing I picked up was this No Empathy, You're So Smart 7-inch box set, which I got really cheap. It is complete, has the sticker or whatever it is in there. It was like, I got it from Japan, like 300 yen. So there we go. That is the 7-inch roundup of the last couple of months. So there you go. Love listening to 45s. Still have a huge pile that I haven't even got through, but those ones are in the pile that are next to the turntable to listen to. I do have another pile over here which is not next to the turntable, but close enough. Too many to go through in that, but that's enough for today. Also, I've been listening to a lot of W.A.S.P lately. I still think that the guitar tone on W.A.S.P records is possibly one of my favorite guitar tones of all time. Even though they use the same 3 chords in every song, they're kind of like the AC/DC of of 80s metal. Yeah, they do it really good. They do it really good. I love W.A.S.P. And so last night I had a W.A.S.P listening party all to myself, where I was just cranking up W.A.S.P record after W.A.S.P record. And why not? By the way, the flip side of Blind in Texas, the W.A.S.P single, there is a song in there called Savage, and it's not the Fun Things cover, but it's awesome, and you should listen to the song called Savage. But yeah, B-side to Blind in Texas single. Anyway, that's enough rambling for one day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Go buy some records. Go buy all of these if you want, if they looked like something you'd be into. And look after yourselves and take care of each other. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.
It's the best collection I've ever seen.
I wouldn't doubt it.